just given time, waiting to see if others will show up, and trying to gauge delay. But I am here. Okay, so it looks like it's probably about a 45-second delay from what I'm speaking to what is going out live. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case as far as the chat goes. I had originally started doing this yesterday, pardon me, but it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, video wise, so I had to figure out what I could do, lighting and everything, in order to change it up. And if you're wondering what I'm doing as far as here, using my phone as the primary camera, which is down here, but I'm also watching what's going on via a browser window up here on my computer monitor. So I cut down the resolution for recording just to make it a little easier on bandwidth. I'm not sure that'll affect the final video going up, but right now it's just in 480p. has the best? Well, I haven't used the two newest ones, this one or this one, enough to say um, which one I would say is the best. Um, I do know that for me, just as kind of like that first love, this was the first one I got, and aesthetically, that finish to me is still killer on the Mongoose. Um, that is just awesome, and the shave is quite nice. Um, the hardest thing with the Mongoose is just getting used to the angle. If you're not familiar with injector style razors, because of the width, the height of the cutting edge, or the part that you would put on your face, is so narrow that it took me a while to get acclimated to it, and then the weight on top of it, because since it's a pretty solid piece, and this is with the dub legend handle, so this is like extra huge, and solid. It's not like hollow or anything like that. That's a solid stainless steel, and as big and thick as that is, it just took a while to let it go. But it is still a really nice shaver. Still use it quite often. And for me, any of the single edges, whether it's the vintage or these newer styles that use the feather Kai style blades, Chevette style blades, to me, they're the easiest way to go for me, just in making sure that I got a good prep, but speed wise, just being able to cut and go. I think something about the stiffer blades for my face and my whiskers just feels a lot better. Now on these two, I can definitely say that just after one shave, because that's all each one of these have had, is just one shave, that this guy here, the Asylum, just seems to have just a much easier feel about it. They're both well balanced, but just something about the shave itself, when I went through with it, I didn't feel like I had to be careful or anything like that. Whereas I thought about being careful with this open comb head, which I have both the heads. I haven't tried the solid bar one yet. But for the above the tie, the SE2, when I went to this dude, it was deceiving, because you felt like you could just start going through your shave, but it showed that it was more aggressive than me using this. And about the same as this because of the weight on the Mongoose. So the weight of the Mongoose makes it an aggressive shaver, but really you don't have to worry about a lot with it. The one thing I like about the Mongoose is that even though this is the Batch 2 edition, that even though it's kind of funky on the, I shouldn't say funky, they didn't make the tabs that are inside as pronounced as they are now, which I see on the newer edition, which is something that they cleaned up, which is cool. Loading the blade and kind of keeping it settled while you load it, there's just a little bit more wiggle before it finally locks down. But once you get it, then it's fine. I mean, it's not like it takes a whole lot, but that is one of the things that I noticed. But at least when taking it apart and everything like that, the blade comes off well. And yeah. But the nice thing about it is, whether you use a Kai Mild or a Feather Pro or the Feather Super, they all fit well enough in here, and so you're able to gauge whatever type of shave that you want. To me, the Pro and the Kai Mild are about the same. Out the gate, from what I've noticed, is a Feather Pro seems a little bit less smooth, but they're both plenty sharp. They're all sharp. Um, but when I went to the Super, I was quite surprised that even though I had more blades showing, of course I have more practice with it too when I finally tried a Super, but because the blade is more exposed on it, uh, I got even a more close shave faster in the same amount of time, meaning I went through a first pass and I could tell right away that it was already taken off a lot. So that's one nice thing about the Mongoose in this style, is that it has more um, play to allow you to use the different blades from the blade manufacturers. Uh, from what I understand, this is geared more towards using the pros and the milds, and this guy altogether was designed for the pros, feather pros and the Kai milds. So one of the things that I saw from forum comments, even from Phil himself, was that this guy was machined and the tolerances are built for the Kai milds and the feather pro blades. That's what it was designed for. And that's what I used in it when I shaved with it. And I found it to just be a fantastic shave. So, out of these two, just from how it felt after the shave, I'd have to give it to this guy. But overall, because I just still love that finish on this dude, and it was my first one, it's still not beat out because of that. But I can understand why a lot of people would love this guy. One of the nice things is it's pretty easy to find what you got to shave with, because it's flat. You start out flat and you just go. So that was very nice with it, along with just the aesthetics of how it's molded, even kind of like a Cobra / injector. So really nice razor, fine razor. The satin finish on it is really tight. There were less machine marks on the inside of everything than what I noticed on the inside of this. Nothing in there to affect the blade or anything from what I could tell. Just the fit on the inside parts was just a little bit above the inside parts on this guy. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your question as well. I can just stare at that. I mean, look at that. That is a finish. That's what the old school icons used to look like. They were shined up that good. Just kind of checking up here too on the active monitor that I have up here. Anybody, you're welcome to ask any questions about these razors that you like, that you may want to know. Realize that a lot of people are probably, well, in America are watching football probably. And that's what I would be doing, except that my team doesn't play till tomorrow. So, had a free afternoon. Not sure how updated the stats are as far as viewers watching. There's a couple more out there, but Kurt, you and I are the only ones that are active in the chat area. I tried to run this yesterday, and it was user error on my part. There's a couple settings that I had to use through the app, the phone app, in order to brighten it up a little bit. It just kept getting dark. I'm using the same amount of light that I had yesterday. But I'm liking the way it seems to be coming out today for a phone camera. Cool. Absolutely. Go Broncos. I do. I see your question, Kurt asked. Do I get better shave with the SE than DE? And for me, I do. Um, it is for me. It is. One of the things I like about it is that the stiffer blades that come in SE razors just seem to work better for me. Um, whether it is for my beard type and skin type, it just seems to flow a lot better. Um, Prep is just as good. Everything is just as good. It just seems that whether it's a vintage gem, Eveready, or one of these type of razors here, um, I do tend to get better shaves. And I know that with this guy, because of the narrow head, it's easy to edge with. So that is another bonus to it as far as getting in areas around the nose or around the mustache and around a goatee. And especially since I can't grow my goatee all the way down here. It just gets too thin in this part. So for me, edging here is important as well. And the profile on this head just seems to work well for that. So just the overall shaving experience with single edge razors for me are just easier in that way. Not only that, but the blades are more expensive. That is for sure, especially for these guys. But I mean, I can get 15 to 20 shaves out of one blade. So, I cost of a pack of blades. I think the Feather Pros and Kai Milds are somewhere around 18 bucks. And let's see, is that for 10 or 20 blades? I can't remember how many come in that pack. But anyway, they last so long that to me, the cost to me doesn't make that much of a difference. And then I rotate through things too, so a pack of blades can go a long time for me because I'm going through DEs, I'm going through my gem Everetties, I'm going through straights. So the flexibility, it's nice now. When I bought my Feather Artist Pro Camisari, that was the first razor that I had that used these type of blades. So when I got my Mongoose, I was like, yay, now I can use my blades on my Mongoose too, and just switch it up between whether I wanted to shave straight or shave with the safety razor. So that's another cool thing about it, especially if you like shaving with the Chevettes that use this type of blades as well. You can take that same blade and go between your different razors. But the stiffness, they're plenty sharp. They hold the edge for a long time to shave with, and all of that, all in all, and they work well for me. Yes, I am prior military. I was in the U.S. Army for just a little bit over 11 years. You asking because of my tag, my name? Maybe a little, but she just pretty much wants to. Her first choice was to fly, and that's why she decided to go there. Naval Academy was out because of the whole water thing. So, yeah, I just told her to push for the Air Force Academy, and she did. And just a huge blessing that she got in there. If the Air Force had the same things I needed at the time when I was joining the Army, I would have probably went Air Force, but I did JROTC in high school, and it was Army based, so it just made more sense for me to push on in and get the step ahead that I could in the Army, which helped out a lot. Air Force, typically for enlisted, don't advance as quickly as the same fields in the Army do. So there's a give and take. They give you a lot more, or at least back then, the Air Force treated their folks a lot differently than the Army bases did, as far as barracks life, things like that, as a single person, which I was when I joined. And so the perk side of it for the Air Force has always just been given nicer living quarters and things like that. But on the Army side, you do have more opportunity for faster promotions and things like that, at least to a certain point. So a lot of that were things that you didn't know about what actually goes on in Air Force life until you get around them in different service environments, and you're like, what? You don't have to clean your own bathroom? Things like that. I mean, they had like maid service, so that was like a shock to me. So yeah, I'm happy for her. Of course, they still have to clean things. They just don't have nearly the same type of what we called details to do. Thank you, and thank you for yours as well. All right. Thank you, Kurt. Whoever else is out there that is watching. I know there's at least one other person out there, even though they didn't join in the chat area. Thank you for coming in and just kind of hear what I'm doing and talking more about the above the tie single edge, the Asylum RX from Mongoose Shaving. And of course, this one's from Above the Tie. And the Mongoose. This one's the Batch 2, with fitted right now with the Dub Legend handle, which is the big one. Huge beast. These are some of the high-end options out there. Of course, there are now other more affordable options, whether it be from Razor Rock or from Colonial General or something like that, or Colonial Razors the General, as far as using this type of blade. And I just hope that you all enjoy your day. Thank you, Kurt. See that you said that you subscribed. And God bless you all that have been watching and that are going to come back and watch this after it's loaded and uploaded to YouTube for just a regular video. So take it easy, all. God bless you. Have a great week.